What's up, single players? J. Scott Brown here for Only Single Player, giving you an exclusive first look today at Legends of Eisenwald. This is an RPG turn-based strategy type game, published and developed from the likes of Eisenwald Entertainment. Now, this has been on Steam Early Access for a while now, somewhere in the realm of close to 2 years. Towards the end of 2013, it was placed on the Early Access storefront, and finally it's come out now, 2nd of July, at the start of this month, so we can give you some sort of insight into what the finished product is. This will be your exclusive only single player first look at the start of the game and basically what the game entails, especially from the outset, and what continues as you get 3 to 4 to 5 hours in. So I've played this for roughly somewhere in the realm of close to 4 hours, but we'll start a new campaign from the start, again, just to touch base with what the game has to offer immediately from the get-go, and you can choose from there whether that is to your liking or not. So we'll go ahead and hit new game. As you can clearly see already, there's a main campaign, which is obviously the Legends of Eisenwald, and then there's a couple other side scenarios there. I believe they're like different sort of side campaigns that you can do after you've completed the main one, and I believe they're going to be updating more and more as the game's development continues. We're going to keep it on easy in terms of difficulty because I don't want to humiliate myself too much. So we'll keep it on easy and we'll jump straight into the game. Now, I played a Baroness on my first playthrough, but I think I'm going to go with the Knight this time because if I've learned anything thus far, it's that melee characters in this game are incredibly strong. So we'll go with the Knight this time, and because I am a incredibly big Game of Thrones fan, we'll go with Jaime Lannister for the name. Great, let's go. Alright, so as you can see, there's a bit of text in here, so there may or may not be a lot of cheesy voice acting on my end, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So, Jaime Lannister. Castle Sidlitz, there's a warm welcome and a mug of excellent beer there, I'm sure. Berthold, I believe his name is. And hopefully a mug of warm wine. The trek through Gulston swamps has seeped half a swamp in my boots. Seems the dry land isn't too far away. That's a valid point, Berthold. Berthold, your fidgeting is unnerving. This is clearly the right road. You said something similar in the swamps, and we spent hours there. Then it is proof. Is what you require. Perhaps my map will satisfy you in your incessant worry. We can always check to see if we're on the right path. Alright, open the mid-map and find Castle Sidlitz. So Castle Sidlitz is around here, but we'll go ahead and jump at the map. This is pretty standard. There's nothing too complex about this map. You just have your key points in the kind of center here, and when we get more quests, it'll show on the right panel, notes and stuff like that you just collect. And there's just nothing too out of the ordinary here that you wouldn't be used to if you haven't played an RPG with the map before. So we'll go ahead and just start to move around. Hunter, good day to you travelers. I come from Sedlitz to escort you to the castle. I know these woods well. These lands are not foreign to me, friend. I know the way to Closlin's castle. Of course I do, I'm Jaime Lannister. Are you kidding me? Oh, I don't doubt you do, my lord. But there's been trouble in these woods. We ought to avoid the most notorious parts, if you take my meaning. I like how there's a bit of a underlying tone there that I'm supposed to insinuate from. Then we'd best be on our guard. Let's be ready in case we run into trouble. We will be. Open the troop screen and make sure your fighters stand in the right formation. Okay, so this is the first thing we should talk about. Now, this is our completely inventory screen. It shows a lot of information and a lot of different panels. So firstly, if you look at the top left, you'll see that it has this little army panel. Basically, this is setting up your formation for however many troops you have at any given time. When you get into a fight, this is the formation in which they're going to be in. And this is really important because ultimately fights can be won or lost and really determined by the state of your current formation. So for example, right now we have Jaime Lannister, who's a knight. He's at the front, alongside Berthold, who's also a knight. He's at the front. So your beefy kind of melee guys are always going to be in this front panel, and the game lets you have more of them as a direct result. You can have more knights than you can have rangers and support characters. We also have Cole, who the hunter we just ran into. He's going to be a ranger, so he's going to be in the middle sort of lane. And then when we get more healers and stuff like that, they're going to be at the very back. Now, the interesting thing about this is actually playing on my other character is that even though it's very clearly kind of indicated by the game that it wants you to have certain roles in certain positions, you can actually just ignore that. It doesn't actually force you to. So for example, we can go ahead and put Jaime Lannister at the very back, and that's totally fine. If you want to do that, that's something you can absolutely do. And I've actually come up with kind of a weird strategy on my other character. I don't know if it's a strategy or an exploit. It's something along those lines. But if you get healer characters like monks and nuns and stuff like that who heal your characters and are basically kind of useless in terms of focusing, if you put them at the front and you put your knights and rangers at the back, they're actually kind of protected because the enemy will go for your kind of healers first. And even though they're obviously useful for healing and stuff like that, they tend to distract from your other guys, which are much more valuable that could do damage. It's a weird, interesting dynamic that you can play around with quite a bit. So for now, we'll put the 2 knights at the front and we'll put the ranger at the back just to give them a bit more room to shoot arrows from. So let's just walk around, and I believe we're going to run into an enemy here. So fugitive peasant, that's already probably a warning sign. Welcome, good sirs, to the benevolent Lord Red Bestel's fine forest. Come along and we'll introduce you to the man himself. My pardon, we've come a long way, and will not be pulled aside until we've had some rest. Come along peacefully now, or things might not go too well for you. I suggest you move along. Bestel doesn't take kindly to rude guests. Doesn't he now? Okay. So this is our battle screen. Again, this is probably the most interesting part about the game, the way it does turn-based combat. So, as you can clearly see, the formation we set up is now in full effect. And the enemy obviously has their formation as well, and we're currently up against kind of 3 knight swords guys, melee guys, and then 1 range guy. So, the actual complexity, the depth of the combat itself isn't really that much. You just kind of click. The interesting thing about this is that you actually don't have movement points. So you can't control what characters are going to be moving around. Instead, you just control their actions. Every character has to make an action every turn. And to kind of prove this, you can actually make your character wait till the end of turn. So I can do this with Jaime Lannister. I can say, you're going to wait to the end of the turn. And then I can start using the other guys to do other things, such as cast different spells or do attacks. But ultimately, Jaime Lannister has to make some action at some point. You can't just skip him. You can't just like pass the turn as you would be able to in other turn-based games. And that's a pretty unique element of Legends of Eisenwald. And so we should just be able to pretty swiftly deal with these guys. We'll move our little friend Berthold here to a safe hex. That's basically how you retreat. You have to click move to a safe hex because you can't, remember, there's no movement points. You can't actually direct movement in this game. You actually just click and attack and do things like that. And so it's kind of simple, but it has a little bit of depth to it. And I think it's interesting enough to warrant your interest. If it piques it or not, that's up to you. Looks like Berthold might be in a bit of trouble. But luckily their ranger is not targeting him, so maybe we might be able to get him out. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. Actually, probably not. Unless we kill this guy right now, Berthold is looking like he might go down. Oh, no, we got him. Okay, cool. Awesome. And so then also, you actually don't have to win fights completely. The enemy will just surrender if you end up swamping them completely. So there you go. So now we're kind of in like the village area. This is the complete starting area for the game. And it just introduces you to the basic sort of buildings and specific places you'll be running into. Over here we have the inn. Over here we have a church for healing. Villages give you stuff like trading and finding different AI to pick up for support characters. We'll see if actually this forest village has anything we can use in terms of getting more fighters or mercenaries. No, not at the moment. And so the reason why this is kind of interesting is because we have this panel down the bottom. Now this panel determines how much gold we have and how much income we're getting, and also how much army we can have given the current amount of land or castles we occupy. And so the dynamic there is simply the more castles you conquer in this game and you go around and start taking land, the more army the game lets you have. So you can pick up more mercenaries, more followers and stuff like that. But we'll get to that in just a moment. Class. I can't say that name. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I'm not even going to begin to try. Castle. I swear I see him from here, ready to welcome us. If you want to see who's in an army or in a garrison of a castle, click it with the right mouse button. Oh yeah, so this just lets you kind of see if the castle's friendly or not. And also how well defended it is, obviously. So we'll go into the castle. Let's see. Welcome, Sir Jaime Lannister. It does my heart good to see you. Yeah, it does. Of course it does. I'm Jaime Lannister, bitch. Unless I'm mistaken, I don't recall meeting your friend. Thank you for the welcome, Baron Seldlitz. It's a pleasure to see you again. Let me introduce you to Berthold, a loyal friend of mine and comrade. He has saved me from the grasp of death more than a few times. You have a firm grip, Sir Berthold. It is fortune that brought you both here. Please, treat my home as your own. I hope there is no trouble on the way. We did encounter a little problem along the road. Bandits under the orders of a man called Red Bestel. Troubling news indeed, but not entirely surprising. It would be a shame to spoil your arrival with the request, so both of you should rest now and regain your strength. Return to me when you are able, and we will discuss this further. I can see you're away from your travels. Make your way to St. Eleanor's Church. Your wounds will be tended there. Yeah, so that's a church that lets you heal, and it's probably advisable you go to a church after a well-fought, valiant battle. What we'll do is, for the sake of speeding up this sort of stuff, walking around, you can come down the bottom here and just increase the time to around 4. Time does stand still when you're not moving, unless you hit the play button, in which everything will start moving. But it's probably better to keep that on pause so you don't get attacked randomly for no reason and out of the blue when you're using the bathroom or getting food or something. There's always someone here who can wash and treat our wounds. Alright, so we're going to heal up and we're going to head back to the castle. And then we'll start probably picking up some mercenaries and some followers to actually start building up our army a little bit. You're looking a little better. Wonderful. Why not go and teach Red Bestel a lesson? That way you can repay the wrong that was done to you and at the same time rid me of a thorn in my side. A win-win situation there. You'll first need to gather some men to assist you. You may as well start here. There's a man in my castle you can hire. Alright, so here's our gold down the bottom. We actually got a lot of gold in that little small portion of time. And so we can hire this guy, right? So he becomes part of our army for now, and he's actually a follower because we don't have to pay him on like a weekly, daily basis or whatever. Mercenaries that you pick up later on, you'll have to pay on a consistent basis. And so, again, we can put him wherever we want. We can put him probably next to the ranger down here. Maybe have a more defensive formation like this, and it's a bit nicer in that sense. And so, with our first kind of follower guy, wonderful, but infantry and archers are not enough for this battle. First we need, yeah, we'll get some heals. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, buddy. We'll get some heals. So with our first kind of addition to our army now, you can see it went up to 2 out of 6. Now 6 is the maximum that we're allowed to get right now, due to the fact that we don't have enough castles to expand our overall supply. When we start to pick up castles and take over land, that will increase, and we'll start to fill up this whole panel of army and soldiers that will follow us. But for now, it's actually the reason why actually the Hunter and Berthold don't count is because they're more classified as dedicated men that we don't have to pay, or they just follow us because they want to, and they don't necessarily count. They're more crucial to the actual story and what's happening, so they don't really count in that sense. But followers and mercenaries, which we'll pick up later, they're crucial in terms of making an army that's going to be successful and get you to the next stage and take over castles, and then you also need to take over castles to get more, so it's kind of a cumulative effect in that sense. So we'll go ahead and find some healers so we can start to move along. I believe we come here for the healers. No, this is the marketplace. But we will pick up some stuff just so we are kind of prepared. Get a new sword there for Jaime. And how much money do we have? 742. That's quite a bit, so we can pick up some potions as well. And put them in the slots. And I believe we've got to get a horse soon enough. Good, but equipment isn't worth anything if it just gathers dust in our baggage. Let's put it on. Thank you, Berthold. I'm aware of that. Okay, so we can come back to the quests now as well. And so this is kind of just outlining what we need to do to progress. We need to get the horse for Berthold. Oh, that's right. You have to go to the village, don't we? Go over here. That's how we get the horse, I believe. No, wait, not this guy. Okay, we'll pick up a healer there. And where are we going for this horse? I think it's to the right, actually. Get a monk guy. So he doesn't heal, but he helps. He gives buffs to your teams and stuff like that. Well, what do we have? What do we need to take the Red Dock Bestel? Perhaps we need to find him first. We should ask Sedlitz and see what he knows. Come now, my friend. There are many ways to gain information. We ought to enjoy a beer at the local tavern and sit back and see what we can learn from the talkative locals. A sound plan, especially if there's drinking involved. Jamie, that is cheeky. You little fiend, you. All right, there we go. We get the stallion, get the horse. Okay. Cool. So we'll put the horse on Berthold. He's the only guy that can actually use horses at the start anyway. So we'll put that on him, and then we'll give him this special lance for now. And then we're gonna head down to the inn. So the inn is a place as kind of was alluded to by Berthold. It's kind of the place where you talk with the locals, you pick up on information that you might not know. And that's all I have to do for now. So we'll pop in. We'll grab some beer, but let's keep our ears open. Alright, let's have a listen, shall we? The old lighthouse. So this is also how you pick up side quests later in the game. You start to overhear stuff from different characters who talk about haunted areas, especially with this lighthouse. Apparently there's a rumor that every lighthouse keeper just dies, which is a little bit creepy, to say the least. But we're looking for one specific one here that will help us with our main quest. And I believe it's this one here with the brothers. Cool, alright. I'm going to talk with this guy as well, because he's just going to let us know there's some treasure. So we can actually choose to just ignore him, because he's offering to let us know where some treasure is for 50 gold. But I know he's legit. I've sussed him out on another playthrough, so he's all good. Alrighty, so let's check our main quest. What do we got to do now? So we want to go to the forest and find the gang, which is somewhere over here. So we can jump back into combat and actually get a better feel. But before we do, obviously, let's just check out our formation, because we got some new additions here. So I feel like we want to get the ranged in their slot here. This is actually another melee guy. So we'll put him at the front, and then we'll put the support down here, and maybe put Cole on the left here, so we can try to do some sniping over there. And so, as I said, we got a healer now. We got a monk that's going to be able to buff. And eventually, these guys are going to level up, and we can upgrade them through their own little individual tree to get more skills and just overall become much more helpful. But let's go and jump into another combat round over here if we catch up with these guys. There we go. Defeating a few men must seem like an impressive victory to you, but you were a fool to come here. I have enough men to finish you off. Alright, buddy. Let's do it. Okay. So we'll just zoom out a bit to get a better view here. We can actually see we got a lot more army to look at now. Now, and actually another interesting point I just want to make clear before we delve into this one is that you actually can just end the battle. You can just kind of let the game do a simulation for you and it'll just end. And I believe I'll probably use this I'll probably use it now just to demonstrate how easy it is, because you only really need to have a couple extra guys and you win pretty definitively. So let's just take a look and see how favorably we win. Actually, well, that was actually not too favorably, because my guy almost died. But still, we did win pretty definitively there. It looks like you underestimated us again. Say goodbye to your life, scum. Wait, don't kill me, I beg you. I was told to capture you on the way. It's not my wish. It could very well be this cowardly rat is lying, but we may as well hear him out and then decide what to believe. I was under the command of Lord... I'm not even going to bother. I can't. Are you serious? Kuztan Kuz, whose lands neighbor those of your friend, Baron Sedlitz. He told us to rob people and share loot with him. We'll take this to Sedlitz and see what he thinks of the allegation. Honorable Jamie. I like it. Alright, so let's go back to Sedlitz. See what's up. Actually, we'll pop into the church, obviously. Quickly heal. And do that real quick. There we go. Heal all. Bam. Alright, let's pop into Sedlitz. What are you up to, buddy? Kloslin, we finished off Bestel's gang. He swore during the questioning he acted under the orders of Kostenkaz. I think I nailed that one that time. Do you think that could be true? I fear it must be. The Kostenkaz... No, I tried. I'm so sorry. I'm not the most reputable in the area. I have had many confrontations with them in the past. They have sunk ships and encouraged robbers. The younger brother has not been seen for many months. Not a good sign. It seems you have some interesting people all around you, Baron. And what if we pacify Kuzka? We took care of the robbers. Surely we could take care of this so-called lord. You're bold, Berthold, I'll grant you that. But you'll have to take his castle, and you won't be able to do that with so few men. I'll give you some gold, and you can hire some mercenaries. Mercenaries, unlike regular soldiers, ask for daily pay. I like how Sedlis is being very, helpful in this segment. He's giving us a nice, blatant tutorial. You were able to make your party significantly stronger by taking on mercenaries. In the local tavern, you were sure to find a few Lanqueznets who were willing to fight for gold. Hire mercenaries until you have at least 8 fighters by your party. Only then can you attack Castle Kuztezkaz. Alright, cool. We'll pick up some mercenaries real quick, and we'll jump into that castle. And then I think we'll see how that battle goes, because that's like the first big castle battle in the game that you do. So we'll pop into the tavern and see who's going for a price. It looks like, as you can see, mercenaries are extraordinarily expensive, especially in comparison to your regular followers and people that you just hire at a blanket sum. You have to pay mercenaries over the course of a while, and they cost a lot as a direct result. But they're worth it. Obviously, they're already quite trained in terms of where they're at, in terms of their upgrades and stuff like that. And I believe, actually, if we check, we come down to this mercenary, they're already well trained and such. So that's kind of the trade-off there. You get a much more trained, well-equipped soldier, but in turn, they cost a lot more. So it's kind of weighing up that whole deal of, is the income / spending worth the price of this? Because as you can see now, I'm losing money per week. My income from castles is not actually enough to sustain the mercenaries I have under my control. So I want to... Usually you would use mercenaries for just a battle or two, and or just a castle siege as we're doing now. So we actually have to wait here in the fishing hut while the Kuztezkaz leader leaves the castle. So we'll start the time flow. He just left now. And we'll jump in now. We'll see if we can take that castle. Okay, so before you raid a castle, it gives you this screen. Basically, it's telling me that my characters have already suffered this much damage just due to ranges on top of castle walls and stuff like that. Do I want to now end the siege and take a step back, retreat, or do I want to take a calculated risk and just begin the assault? Let's do it. I think we can handle it quite easily. So we won't skip this battle, even though we probably could. We'll take it on, because it is important to... While you can just skip a lot of these battles and simulate them, obviously you can get off more favorably if you actually play them out, for sure. So we have a monk here, and we're going to do a blessing on our main Berthold guy. Give him a good blessing. That's going to increase his attack damage during the fight. And we might have to heal up. No, he's already gone down. He's out for the count. So that was a solid purchase there on the mercenary. Very clearly that was worth it. Jamie Lannister's going to go in for a swing there. And as I said, the melee guys in this game are really extraordinarily strong. They do a really good job, so that's why I've kind of favored a lot more melee guys in this time round, whereas before I had maybe 4 or 5 range characters, but they go down pretty fast and they don't do too much damage. Alright. Berthold. Oh, no, he's gone. He's down. That's okay, though. We should be okay. We've got 3 melee guys left in a range. The unfortunate thing is, I don't think we'll have time to heal between now and when that guy returns back to his castle. Because he brings another army, so that's going to be a little bit difficult, but we'll manage. Alrighty, so we'll heal our middle guy there. We'll give him a blessing first, and then we'll heal him when we get around to the mage. If he doesn't die in the interim. Well, there you go, he's dead. So as you can see, you really need to actually kind of be a little bit strategic here. You can't just mindlessly click and attack as I'm doing now for the sake of making it a bit easier to watch. Obviously, it'd be a little silly if I was calculating all my moves for 5 minutes between. But that's okay. So we'll go ahead and We're still going to win pretty definitively, but obviously we did lose 3 guys here. So hopefully we'll be able to heal in the meantime. Alrighty. Monk actually needs some turns to restore some mana. So we'll let him do that. Jamie Lannister's going to finish off that guy. There we go. Alright, cool. Alright, a fine fight indeed. Now we... Oh, wait, Berthold, you're dead. Now we have the castle, we shouldn't risk leaving. Custistan can return at any moment, and it's best to wait for him behind the walls. I agree. We should tend to our wounds. Okay, so we can heal. Awesome. Otherwise, that would have been probably pretty tragic. And actually, we can put some guys in the garrison now as well. So, we'll put our range guys on the... can we not put them on the garrison? What can we do then? Can we not do that? Oh, we can put the mercenaries on the garrison. Sure. Huh, okay. Well, maybe that means you put them there for when you actually have the castle. We actually need these guys for the fight, so maybe perhaps we'll do that later. So we can upgrade a couple of our guys real quick before the fight starts. Jamie Lannister has an upgrade here who they have their own individual trees which do different things. We'll just do the basic upgrade that gives adjacent characters willpower and initiative, which basically means to get more damage and they have more chance to attack first, which is obviously going to be extremely helpful. This guy just upgrades to a ranger and she just upgrades to a better healer, getting different skills, which is obviously going to be nice. And before we fight as well, we actually have additional items we can equip real quick. The way the items work is that if it's green, it is A-OK, 100% good for that character. If it's no color, then it's like, oh, you can kind of use it for that character. If it's red, don't even think about putting it on that character. Don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. That's what that means, okay? We'll give this guy a bow. Obviously, that might be a bit smarter. We'll put the lucky charm on her. Let's see, maybe give Berthold the helmet and the horse piece. Actually, that goes here, doesn't it? There we go. And what else can we do? Any greens? No green? Alright, well, we'll just leave it at that then. And we'll take on this guy. You dare stand upon my walls while I wander like a beggar? Beggary is too generous for your ilk. You sent a dog to do your dirty work, and you can try and take this place back, cuz, but you'll find us harder to defeat than you suppose. Alright, bring it on. Bring it on, baby. Alright, so we'll give Jamie Lannister there a shield buff. Just going to make damage do a little bit less. And we'll probably start targeting these guys. Kill the little guys first before we kill Kustikaz, because he is pretty strong from what I can remember. We'll put our knights in a defensive stance there. So basically that means as guys get closer, it's going to be a lot easier to attack them from a defensive position. Pretty straightforward. Alright, so as you can see, our healer now has a new ability, which can give these guys more max health. We won't use it just yet, because this guy needs to heal pretty desperately, so we'll help him out for now. But we can increase the max health of our full health guys in just a moment. And we'll put in this melee guy for the attack here. He should be able to kill him. Come on, buddy. Well, bam! Down for the count. Go for this knight here next. And we might actually... Can we move this guy back for now? Penetrating shot. Character with a crossbow can skip a turn. During the next round, the shot will fully ignore the target's defense. Ooh, that's actually pretty good. We'll try that out. If he doesn't die in the meantime, that is. Scratch that. Alright, so we'll actually give a blessing buff to Jamie Lannister there. So he's basically our super soldier in this fight. We're relying on him pretty heavily, so hopefully he doesn't just get two-shotted or by the Kustikaz over there. And I'm just going to kill this guy there. Probably a bit overkill, but we'll go for it. We'll roll with it. Kill that ranger guy now next, and then we have full reign over killing Kustikaz. We're not too concerned with her, I don't think. Give a heal to... Actually, we'll boost the health of Berthold over there. And we'll stick that guy on the mage. Cool, cool, cool. And now, look at this. What are you going to do, Kustikaz? What are you going to do, buddy? I feel like you're in hot water here. I'm not sure. I'm just going to suggest that you might be in a bit of trouble. It's time to wail. Let's go. Wail on him. Boom. Get in there, Jamie. You got this. I believe. Berthold's coming in too. Oh man, it's a party. So we can actually check what his skills are at in the fight, what his health's at. That helps to obviously evaluate the target's weaknesses and stuff like that. Give more health there. And basically just keep hitting him. I've actually run out of room to hit him, so we're going to have to end the turn for this guy and just wait. Funnily enough, which is a bit strange, but sure. Get more mana points for our mage there, but I don't think it's going to matter. We should be able to just wrap this up now. Bam! KO! Not even a fatality. That windbag wasn't too much of a challenge. Pretty accurate, Berthold, I'm not going to lie. I'm glad our fortune still holds. Let's not test it further. Let's take the news to Sedlitz. So that, ladies and gentlemen, gives you pretty much a basic idea of what this game's about. Legend of Eisenwald. There's definitely a lot to it in terms of taking land, building armies, and definitely on the combat level as well. There's a lot to it. I really like the addition of planning out your army before fights and thinking about that stuff before you do anything. And there's also obviously a big exploring element to it, like as you can clearly see just walking around. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that'll just about wrap us up for our exclusive first look at Legends of Eisenwald. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them below or tweet me. Tweet only single player. We're on all the social media platforms, so feel free to reach out. If you want to check out the game, it's currently $30 on Steam in US currency. That obviously will convert to whatever local country you reside in. But that's it for today. Be sure to like the video and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.